takes courage to come out, if you're Nicki Minaj, and endorse Trump in this way. And it's so beautiful to see her care about this issue and really promote this issue. I want to turn to an issue, a more tragic matter. I talked about it a little bit at the end of the show yesterday, but beyond domestic politics, Christians are being very, very seriously persecuted in Nigeria. We've talked about this on the show a number of times. I've posted about it to social media a number of times. Trump is talking about it. Trump posts, quote, Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. This designation, with the State Department. But that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 31,000 versus 4,476 worldwide, something must be done. I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore. Riley Moore is great, together with Chairman Cole, love Tom Cole, and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. I love this. I love this for a number of reasons. Not the least of which is it does vindicate my view of Donald Trump. When Donald Trump says he's America first, some people hear that and they say that means he's an isolationist, that means he's an ardent nationalist. No, I've long said Trump is an imperialist. He recognizes America's role throughout the world, and he wants to, in his good judgment, in his practical prudential judgment, he wants to preserve America's capital. He wants to maintain the world order. He wants to establish peace. He wants to prioritize American citizens over everyone else, but he does care about everyone else, and he wants to expand America's reach, which is why he wants to buy Greenland, and that's why he wants to invade Canada. And here he says, look, we want to defend our Christians around the world. Our, in two senses of the word. Our, meaning we, America, are the global hegemon. We're the empire of the world. And so they are, in a certain sense, our constituents. That's Trump's implication. It's not even just my statement. Two, we're a Christian country, and they're Christians, and we have a solidarity with them because of that. Also, beautifully accurate. So this got a lot of plaudits, including from Nicki Minaj. Barb's, totally vindicated. Right now, go to expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. Who knows you better than you know yourself? Your family? Your friends? Well, if you own any internet-connected device, there are thousands of companies that might know you better than you know yourself. They're called data brokers. They make billions tracking everything you do online, every purchase, every location, every conversation, every website, your most personal beliefs, all packaged into a profile they sell to marketers, activists, and politicians looking to influence you. You could go completely off the grid, or you could just use ExpressVPN. These companies track you through your IP address, your digital fingerprint. ExpressVPN gives you a new IP address in a location you choose, making you virtually untraceable. With ExpressVPN, your connection is encrypted and routed through secure servers. Even your internet provider cannot see your activity, which is important since they're legally allowed to sell your data to whomever they please. I love ExpressVPN. I'm a huge Luddite, as you know, and yet I've had it for years. Phone, tablet, laptop, it works on all your devices. One click for instant privacy. Find out how you can get 4 months free by scanning the QR code on screen, clicking the link in the description box below, or by going to expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. Nicki Minaj writes, reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror, and it's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. Love it. It takes courage to come out, if you're Nicki Minaj, and endorse Trump in this way. And it's so beautiful to see her care about this issue and really promote this issue. What is very interesting about this, from the analysis of the left and the right and the changing scope of the right, the right loves to be navel-gazing and introspective and always trying to figure out exactly where we are, is we've heard for many years now that America is sick of forever wars, fighting wars on behalf of other populations, in other countries on the other side of the world. Don't affect us. We want to focus on the American homeland. Isolation, America first. And yet, I think many of those people will cheer this on. President Trump is threatening to intervene even militarily in Nigeria. And I wonder, will people cheer that on? will the same people who don't want forever wars in the Middle East cheer on a military intervention in Nigeria? Because I think they are more likely to do so. And I don't think they're hypocrites for it. What you're going to hear from the neocons and the squishes is you're going to say, well, you're hypocrites. You care about Nigeria, but you don't care about Syria or whatever. But I don't think they're hypocrites exactly. I'll double down on this with another observation. I've been meaning to talk about this for weeks, and I've mentioned it one or two times, but it looks like we're going to go to war in Venezuela. Looks like there's been a lot of CIA activity in Venezuela. We're blowing up a bunch of drug boats off the coast of Venezuela, and only Venezuela. There are drug boats coming from elsewhere, but we're really focused on Venezuela. Regime change in Venezuela has been a priority of the State Department for a long time, and we tried to get rid of Maduro, and then he held on to power after that election, and it just looks like we're sick of this Venezuelan regime, which is anti-American. There are a lot of good resources in Venezuela. They're doing a lot of things to screw up our country. And so it looks like we might intervene in Venezuela to some degree or the other. And the same question holds. All those people who were decrying wars overseas and regime change and all this, will they support this or oppose this? I think even the anti-war people are more likely to support a war in Venezuela than they would in the Middle East. I think nature is healing. I think we're basically in the 70s again. We're getting back. We've got socialists running our cities. We have political violence in the streets. We have radical ideologies. We have economic crises. It's the 70s. We're living in the 70s. And we got economic interventions. We got the rehabilitation of Richard Nixon's reputation. We have freezing federal spending. We have, anyway, a lot of things. Everyone's on drugs. There's institutional distrust. Left-wing terrorism. It's the 70s. And I think Americans are going to be more comfortable with military intervention in our own hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine has been a policy of the United States for a very long time. I think even intervention in Nigeria, I think even the anti-war folks will be more likely to do it. One, because it's on behalf of Christians. We're a Christian country. Two, it's to stop a very serious atrocity, call it a human rights abuse, I guess, but in ways that are a little clearer cut. Now, again, I don't know. Some people are going to say, no, keep your, try to use soft power, don't intervene in really hard ways. But to say we should protect Christians from being wiped out by Muslims is different to saying that we need to topple regimes in the Middle East to install Madisonian democracy. Those are different. A prudent and restrained intervention to protect Christians is different from some kind of liberal crusade to spread the end of history ideology of liberalism. Those are different things, and those substantive differences make a difference. Military intervention within our hemisphere in Venezuela is different from military intervention in Iraq or Syria. They're different. But it reminds us that the politics of intervention or isolation or whatever, that is simply too simplistic. Even the politics of prioritizing American citizens and being the global hegemon, that's too simplistic. Politics is a practical science that requires nuance, subtlety of thought, art. This was the subject of my speech at the Nixon Library, which I think you can get online. I think you can get on YouTube. This is something that Trump is really, really good at. Every time you try to pin Trump down into some stupid faction or camp or ideology, he slips away from you. And Trump's enemies on the right, and they've been doing this since the Never-Trumpers in 2016, his enemies say, that means he's unprincipled. That means he's unsophisticated. That means he doesn't have a finely crafted ideology. No, it means he's a good politician and a good statesman. That's what it means. And conservatives would do well to learn from his prudential, dare I say classical and Aristotelian understanding of politics, beyond all the factional infighting and the ideologues. That was a good clip. Now stop. Hold on, stop. Collaborate and ring the bell. Subscribe. We'll see you next time.